Hello again. This might be a rather short one. Well, it is a rather short one. Mainly because there's already plenty of lore written for these small folks in particular, and from multiple sources. The homes of halflings or hobbits, depending on your lore source, can be described as and reflect the folklore of Hollow Hills. In medieval and later folktales, these were the homes of fairy folk. The hills that inspired these tales were, in reality, Neolithic passage tombs or dolmen tombs or other megalithic structures. Burial structures. In modern tales, there's no real ideas given for how these homes are constructed. So why not go back to the origin? The original inspiration. Passage tombs and similar burial places were built from the inside out. It's a dry stone structure, meaning there's no mortar. Dry stone walls and a stone corbelled roof or flat stone roof. First you build the entire stone structure, and then they bury it. Everything other than the entrance door, they bury it in rocks and dirt and let grass grow on top of it. And that further weatherproofs and reinforces it. I hate my computer. Now, it would take massive effort, especially for megalith structures built out of huge stones. It would take massive effort for an entire community and several years to complete one of these as a house. But the building would last thousands of years, unless it were purposely destroyed. And even when damaged or destroyed, years or centuries before, if someone knows how they're built, they can be rebuilt. They can be repaired and fallen settlements could be reestablished. So long as a labor force and materials could be found. Now, building this sort of thing as a house or a domestic building for storage rather than as a tomb isn't unheard of. In a prehistoric village at Skara Brae in Scotland on the island of Orkney is built of entirely dry stone walls with passages between buildings and rooms. It's heavily suggested that they were originally at least partially buried. It's possible they had corbelled stone roofs, or that they were thatched. We don't know which. Also, the Fugu across the north of the British Isles. Underground passages, also called souterrains in French. They're dry stone walls, sometimes megalithic, with corbelled or flat stone roofs, usually but not always connected to a house above. The purpose of these is debated. Whether it was an escape tunnel, a cold cellar, or a hiding place during an attack, I'm sure halflings could find a use for them. Using only Neolithic technology and resources. As said, these buildings would take years to complete. But with the advent of medieval or even Iron Age technology, like wheel cranes, metal tools, as well as a fantasy element of magic being available, they could be constructed as quickly as a wooden house. Interiors could be finished with clay diking or lime plaster so walls and ceilings could be painted. Windows would be small, though as well as chimneys, could be placed during the initial laying of the stone structure. And these houses would be cozy. Get the mouse to work again. There we go. These houses will be cozy, comfortable, and incredibly defensible. It's basically a stone fortress and an underground bunker combined. The entire structure being stone and earth also greatly mitigates the dangers associated with fire. Building houses this way allows for a fireplace hearth against a wall, with a chimney inside the wall, rather than the central hearth and open fire of a roundhouse or a longhouse. This would create more open space, and it will be much easier to build a home with multiple divided rooms allowing for privacy. With a heavy wooden door and windows too small for any attackers to crawl through, halflings in these buildings would be and feel very safe in their homes. So this is another idea. Let me know what you think about it. Do you have any suggestions? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Or can you think of something more suitable for halflings or hobbits, for why their houses last so long and why they're little hills underground? All right. Well, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Give me ideas and suggestions, and we'll talk to you next time.